Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and with the Nvidia super lineup of cards out, Navi RX 5700 and 5700 XT are receiving a price cut. I am finding this game between Nvidia and AMD now is starting to get really interesting. AMD has already have a nice competitive ness between Intel and AMD on the CPU side of things, but the GPU side we've been wishing for a lot. Now, I'll get into my thoughts on the GPU side in a little bit. However, let's start off with the 2060. What Nvidia just did. There was first the move by AMD where they announced their 5700 lineup, and they put a price on there of more expensive than it is now. But with the response to that, Nvidia had already kind of teased out right before the announcements of this super lineup, and they basically kept it simple in their Twitter and just had a little video with super and ended it, right? But now we have the super lineup of the 2060 Super, the 2070 Super, and the 2080 Super. And those are a little bit more powerful than the what was already out with the 2060 and the 2070 and 2080. But they kept basically they're keeping in the 2060 lineup to start at that 349 price point. Then you jump up to the 2060 Super, which is 399. Then you go to 2070 Super, which is 499, and then they're jumping up to the 2080 Super, 699, which will be out in a little bit at the end of this month, I believe. Now we have Radeon going through and countering that with the RX 5700, which hasn't been released yet, will be released tomorrow, and that is going to be at 349. So if you're looking at getting a 5700 now, it's a little bit more attractive than the 3979 that it was. A little bit price cut there. But then you have the RX 5700 XT at 399. That is a lot better than the 450 it was, and then the anniversary edition is also moved down to 449 rather than at the 499 that it was. And I think that this is basically kind of a little bit of response to what Nvidia did, but also I think this is actually somewhat of AMD trying to play their own game as well. Every single time in the last couple of years, as soon as AMD wants to announce something, Nvidia has something stirred up, and they had to counter that. Um, this is just the game I think that corporations should be playing. I've read a lot of things. I've listened to a lot of things already about this when I first saw it come out. I thought that there was Scott Herkelman. He used to work at Nvidia, I believe, so he kind of knows what the games were. So I'm guessing since he is corporate vice president of Radeon Technology Group there, I'm sure that he is also kind of telling them how they're playing the games and maybe how they need to play a little bit of a game back so that they aren't going to lose the news cycle, right? What you don't want to do as a corporation is lose the news cycle. Nvidia is very good at not losing the news cycle, and here it is. Nvidia, as soon as AMD was going to have any news about a new GPU, right? Nvidia's ahead right now in a lot of cards, right? 9 months out, with Turing has been out with this 20 series and RTX. They've been pushing RTX. RTX has been in the news nonstop, and Nvidia or Radeon has been nowhere to be found, right? AMD is nowhere, and now it's just Navi trying to talk up Navi, trying to keep Navi in the news, and now Navi's coming with the 5700, 5700 XT, and here we go. So how do we, as soon as Nvidia sees this with Navi, the 5700 coming out, boom, where's the super lineup? We're going to go super. Okay, so now we're talking about super 2 and Navi, right? There's these super lineups, there's Navi, what's going to be really happening. Then Nvidia, instead of waiting till after the launch, launches it before the 7th, trying to get out ahead where they thought the performance was going to be on those cards in the price points. Then here AMD is now placing another move. It's a lot of chess back and forth. You have to have some sort of thinking beforehand. There's some built-in margins. I still think AMD is having a great margins on these. I think Nvidia did need to bring their margins down because I think that their investors are going to start pushing it based upon their gaming revenue and where it's gone the last couple of quarters. Even though there was mining and stuff, Nvidia was stated that mining wasn't that big of a thing back when mining was strong and cryptocurrencies were flying through the roof and GPUs were flying off the shelves. However, the last couple quarters have not looked too good. And if you're an investor, investors want more revenue. Investors would like to see a company doing well and raking in all that revenue. And you're going to need to sell a lot of cards, right? Gamers aren't used to the $1,000 graphics price. Yeah, some will go and buy that. But, I've spent $500 on a graphics card, and I thought that was kind of pricey, and I couldn't bring myself right now to buy another graphics card for a little bit. It's just too expensive unless it was getting down in that $250 range. That's kind of, I think, the sweet spot. I don't know why it's that way. That's the way I feel right now. So I think that this is AMD's response, trying to kind of fit in there. There was a lot of outrage. There's a lot of outrage online about the current pricings of the 5700 and the 5700 XT. Personally, I think it's probably still a little bit high on the prices. I like to see them go all down another $50. I like to see them hit that $299 to $350 and for $399. You could maybe even go $329, but I think the price brackets would work out quite well. I still remember when Polaris was first announced, the 480 at being that $250 underneath $300 graphics card and getting that sweet spot. They were really focusing on that. And if that's still a big market of the gaming segment, which I think it is, the numbers show that that's where a lot of people are spending their money, then that's where something needs to be slotted into. That's bringing more powerful GPUs. And I would say even something better than just high-end 1080, maybe even some low-end 1440 or lower frame rates, I should say 1440p gaming as well, because I think that's going to be a sweet spot for a lot of gamers and get their hands on newer technologies. Now, could AMD put something in like that? Sure, but Nvidia, I think, is between a rock and a hard place. They need more GPUs sold. They need their margins, but they also have the 1660 and line up there, or 1600 lineup down there as well, that they need to sell those as well. Also, I was also thinking here, I'm taking a look at these Vega prices, right? AMD has so many different graphics card lineup out right now, but Vega 64, and these are brand new prices. Vega 64 is $399 and Vega 56 is $299. I just checked online a little bit earlier today. Those prices are going to have to come down, and that could be another opportunity for us if you're looking at a card and don't want to spend it on maybe what you think might still be a little bit too high a price. These are more respectable prices, but I still would like to see that high-end card for about $500 that we could go and get some great performance. Probably I'd like to see 4K 60 on a $500 card at least. And if not even better than that, I think that's still achievable, so that your high-end, even higher frame rate gaming at 4K at that price point, and then slot them in, because I think that you could start up with your low-end gaming at $100, $125, and then go 150, maybe slot in one slightly higher, 175, 200, 250, 300, 350. And so on. So then you can go $50 increments if that's the way you want to set it up. Kind of set up that way with 5700 is $350, 5700 XT is $399, 5700 Anniversary Edition is $499, and that would kind of give people that are searching a good comparison with their Nvidia counterparts. Right now, AMD kind of has to play their own game because Nvidia kind of owns the GPU market with what they're doing. And with RTX, they're 1660. They kind of got a lineup. They kind of got a line mind share in it. So they're already ahead of the game. And I think that this would be a good way to kind of deviate them, kind of fill in the gap wherever you want to game at. We have a product for you. And how can we get you into the gaming environment? If they want Radeon everywhere, this is another opportunity for it that they could do going forward. Only the rest of the Navi lineup, we will see what happens and that. So you kind of see that I kind of think that, this is, yes, a response to what Nvidia did. I guarantee if Nvidia would have kept those prices high, AMD probably wouldn't have countered this way. But because of what Nvidia did, and AMD was ready to counter, and they were going to move in that direction, right? And this actually makes it more accessible to gamers, and it should be actually, I think, even a little bit lower, but at least it's getting a better competitive price than what it was. Gosh, it was starting to get up there, right? But prices still, I think, need to come down. We need I think I like to see more accessibility to more gamers. I like to see more gamers in that community that can use these cards and have better gaming experiences for what they want to do out there, and everyone just getting into it. If the price is too high to entry, people are never going to jump in. So let's make it fun for everybody. Let's make it so people want to go and build their first computer and start gaming. So yeah, that's how kind of I see it. Hopefully, you guys can still, if you want to buy these products, at least they're more reasonable now. I like to see that there's been a little bit of competition here, but I won't sour real competition until I see a full 5,000 lineup that kind of takes on the whole 20 series, and we can start moving forward on that. I think AMD's moving towards a cadence that kind of more matches Nvidia, where they can get a whole lineup out, which is, I think, going to be more well-rounded for gamers. But I think there's also some stock AMD has to sell through, and they're doing this way for that reason. But they need more. They need more. They need to put more pressure on Nvidia so Nvidia can respond, kind of like this, keep dropping their prices, and us gamers can benefit. So with that, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm really interested to see where you guys land on the price, because you never know. Maybe AMD needs to drop it a little bit more. And I know some people would like, a $1,200 graphics card is still a little steep. That's not something I'm willing to spend. And if the cards are a little bit cheaper, I may have see where they sit with the Vega 64. Maybe if people want some testing on the 5700, I may jump to a 5700 just for that reason. But it's not because I'm going, yes, let's go to get the 5700. It's more, okay, let's see where it compares to my Vega 64 rather than, yeah. But I guess I don't really see myself going out and getting it at this point. So I'm pretty satisfied with the Vega 64 and what it's capable of doing. But let me know what your comments are below, and where you think these cards line up. The Super lineup is pretty much out. We're waiting on the 2080 Super, and we'll see where that lands us. But until next time, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for helping support Gray Overload and helping this channel grow. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.